name is Patrick Witt, number 11, three-year starter at Yale. Hold most of the school's passing records, and looking forward to the future and preparing for the NFL. Sure, I was at Nebraska for 2 years, and I had an older brother at Harvard. Over the course of the time, you realize how fast college goes, and your decision looks quite a bit different after you've been in college for 2 years than when you're a 17-year-old. I knew that I really wanted to pursue a high-powered degree and get that great educational experience, and I saw my brother having that at Harvard. So made the decision to transfer before spring practice to allow Nebraska to go ahead and move on without me and have that time to find a new guy. And made the decision to transfer. Yale, thankfully, took me, and it's been a great experience ever since. I mean, this past 3 years have been awesome. Yeah, I think I showed myself that I was able to adapt to a new situation and make new friends pretty easily. With regards to football, I was able to pick up a new system in the span of a training camp, essentially, summer practice, and then go out there and perform. So for me, I think it was just the ability to adapt and to come into a new situation and make friends and try and make it feel like home as soon as you can. It's fantastic. I mean, I was acquainted with the football from my brother. He played at Harvard, and so I knew there wasn't going to be 90,000 fans in the stands every Saturday. But when it comes down to it, that's really the biggest difference, and perhaps the only difference. The football is still very competitive. There's plenty of great athletes in the Ivy League, and the academic experience is exactly what I wanted it to be. You can pursue any kind of interest here, and I changed my major from finance to history, and I've loved it. The classes I've taken, the professors I've learned under, have been awesome. Yeah, I mean, I always approach school like I approach football. The two are pretty synonymous with me. Tests are competitions, and you got to be prepared for them. So, whether it's putting in the work in the film room during the week to prepare for that game, or whether it's putting in those extra hours to study, I'm all about preparation. I'm all about going into a game ready to go. Sophomore year, engineered a comeback down at Columbia on Halloween. We were pretty lackluster in the first half, and then the game just kind of broke open. Both Columbia's and our offenses really exploded, and ended up throwing a touchdown pass to win the game, 23-22 at the end there. It was really neat. It's just a cool venue. Columbia Stadium is neat. It's right on the river there. And then, I would say the next one would have to be Georgetown. From last year, we had just a crazy game back and forth, both offenses scoring a lot of points. They took a 2-touchdown lead pretty late in the game, and we ended up overcoming it and scored the game-winning touchdown on a quarterback sneak as time expired. And we won 40-35. Yeah, it was just one of those games where the game plan's working out. All those passing plays that you draw up during the week are exactly how they looked in practice. Not always the case. Some teams really change things up. Princeton was exactly how we expected them to be. And we went out there and just some guys made plays, some passes that were caught for big games. Could easily have been incomplete passes in other games. So it's just one of those days where everything was clicking. So right now, just I've taken a couple weeks to let my body heal from the season, and really starting to get underway now with preparation in terms of conditioning and strength training. In the process of finding an agent. I have a couple meetings set this week, actually today and tomorrow, with agents, and hopefully make that decision sooner than later, so I can get the ball rolling with other things. And then in the spring, I'm done with classes, so I will be somewhere training, hopefully for an NFL Combine invite or one of the Senior Bowls, and go from there. Just test the NFL waters and then see what kind of interest there is. I think there's always a concern of the level of competition you played. A lot of people simply because they're just unfamiliar with it. May not give the Ivy League the credit that it should be due. I played against plenty of people in the Big 12, and here in the Ivy League, I would say that the defenses are even more complex because you have the intelligent guys that can handle it. So I think it's just a matter of going out, the scout seeing me in person, competing alongside those guys that were at the bigger D1 programs. And if I perform well alongside them, then I think whatever concerns there are about coming from a small school would go away. Always been one of those guys that they always say the size. First of all, I do have a very quick release. Just kind of developed kind of in the same way that Phillip Rivers learned how to throw the ball. I was the younger brother, my older brother Jeff, and holding the larger football at an early age, I had to figure out a way to do it, and so I ended up developing a pretty short release, which in later years now has actually turned into a positive, throwing a very quick release in a short motion. Oh man, I'm one of those guys that I don't know exactly what to do. I see those people that have touchdown dances or celebrations already choreographed in their minds, but it's all organic. You never know when that pass is going to be the one. Passing touchdowns are not easy to come by, and so sometimes, for instance, in the Princeton game, we had a third and long facing us through a deep dig, and then getting tipped up in the air to one of our own guys who raced about 60 yards for a touchdown. So you could never predict something like that, and so I ended up doing a pretty funny celebration, which the other quarterbacks gave me a hard time for during the week. I don't know. I just gave a kind of funny fist bump and a little 360 jump. I was pumped up at the time. It was again one of those plays that just comes out of nowhere and you could never predict it. So I was really excited, and they caught it on film. They made sure I relived it. I think as a quarterback, the most important things are to really develop your core and pursue a strength and conditioning program that prevents injury. I mean, a quarterback position, you're taking a bunch of shots. Despite the fact that you're not being hit in practice during the week, you certainly make up for it in games. So that's important. Obviously being diligent about strengthening your shoulder. It's all about throwing with quarterbacks. You don't need to go into the weight room and bench press 500 pounds, but you need to make sure you're at a level where you're getting the most out of your core and out of your shoulder to really generate velocity on the ball, and you've also prepared yourself to prevent against injury. Yeah, I mean, in the transfer from Nebraska to Yale, one of the motivating factors was, football is going to end someday, and I want to prepare myself for life after football. So with regards to the consulting group that I interned with last summer, that's one of those deals where if you perform well, they offer you a full-time job, which I had the opportunity to receive. So again, where had the season gone very poorly, perhaps a serious injury that ended my career, I would be okay. With the Rhodes Scholarship, I think that's just kind of the mold that I try to live by as a student athlete, and I wanted to absolutely pursue it. I knew about the potential conflict, but I had seen other guys able to work around it, especially a couple years ago, Casey Gerald here at Yale. So I guess I just held out hope that we would be able to accommodate the circumstances. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Again, no enmity towards the Rhodes Committee. They're absolutely right when they say that they publish these dates for the interviews way in advance. So it's just one of those things where it was an unfortunate set of circumstances in terms of timing, but I was very humbled and honored to have been selected just as a finalist, because I know it's a very difficult process in itself. Well, I've experienced experienced it from both sides. Back when I was in Nebraska, I was, of course, cheering for my brother from the Harvard side. And it's pretty wild for it to come full circle and for me to have been a quarterback in 3 Harvard Yale games. To go through the season without a great deal of fan support, and then for that one game to me and everything to the alumni, and everyone comes back, all your friends that graduated previous years, it's just it's really unique. It makes it that much more special because of the fact that not every game is that way, and in fact only one is. Again, you're carrying on a long tradition. Yale football players, Harvard football players that came before you and participated in this game. It's really remarkable when you look at the list of people that play football for the 2 schools. So I was very privileged to have taken part in it. And those are the games that you remember, and especially when the alumni come back, those are the ones they talk about. Growing up, I always looked to my older brother. Obviously, not everyone has an older brother, so I would say really find a role model who walks in the shoes that you would like to someday. Make sure it's a positive role model. For me, my brother was an outstanding student, a quarterback, and I tried to emulate everything that he did. So, that would be my best advice, to really look to those people who are having success and are leading the lives that you would like to lead, and follow them as much as you can. Sure, my family is very close. I talk to my parents all the time. I talk to my brother. He's my best friend. So, I've benefited from having a very tight-knit family. Anytime there's a big decision weighing on me, I can always reach out to them and talk to them about it. And oftentimes they're just good listeners, and sometimes that's all you need. As far as public figures, there have been plenty of influential ones. As far as quarterbacks go, I grew up a big fan of Favre, Bledsoe. My brother and I never really had a team. We were raised in Atlanta, but unfortunately the Falcons were terrible for so long that we just ended up cheering for the best quarterbacks. And I'm still that way when I watch games. So I'm a little bit partial to the position. Those would be the people that I looked up to. A lot of my friends back home just think we study all the time and they're just a bunch of nerds, but it's not that way at all. There's so many sports teams here. Yale has a tremendous amount of athletic teams, and so there's a common bond among the students with so many student athletes. It's a great time. It's college. You have a blast, and it's one of those schools that it's difficult to fathom the kind of people that you're going to school alongside, because they're your buddies, they're your fraternity brothers, etc. And at the same time, they're exceptional students and brilliant people in their own right. I look at the model created by Tom Brady, one of those guys that got taken in the late rounds, was not expected to do a great deal besides be a backup at the very best, and then come in there and really show some people that maybe his college experience wasn't the one that attracts the hoopla and the attention and the first-round draft pick, but he's still very capable. So I'd like to think I'm the same way. I would love to get an opportunity. I look at Ryan Fitzpatrick and the success that he's having, and I know that it's possible. A lot of my friends from Nebraska, even from Yale last year, who have had opportunities in the NFL, I look to them. I know I've played with them, and I know I can play at that level. And I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great deal. But at the end of the day, all you can ask for is an opportunity in a camp, and then that's when you got to show them what you can do. And hopefully, I'll have a good opportunity with a team that has a spot for me and perform well. It's hard. All the people that I've reached out to, they've all put in their dues. This time in the spring is critical to that process because everyone is improving themselves. It really shows the scouts not only your physical abilities at the top end, but it also shows that you're willing to put in the work. And the pros that I've spoken to have said, be a professional. approach it not necessarily like they did in college, but the ones that just don't approach it as seriously as they should are the ones that flake out, from what I understand. Meetings a lot. I mean, there's as evidenced by the fact that you get done with your game, and there's plenty of other games on TV. I mean, football is played all over the country. So many outstanding quarterbacks out there, many of whom I enjoy watching myself. And to be named that, despite the fact that they're all performing in their own right, means a lot to me. It's a great honor. Oh, goodness. My experience with football is unique. Anybody that's played the quarterback position always watches the football game differently. When I'm watching it on TV, unfortunately, I can't watch the ball anymore. All I'm looking at is the defense, and I'm trying to diagnose the coverage instead of watching the actual gameplay. And it is different. It's one of those sports that it's not like basketball. You can't just go out and pick up, and it's very similar to the real thing. It's such a team sport. Again, at the quarterback position, when things break down, you don't necessarily know who to point the finger at. And sometimes when you let a ball go and you take a big hit that rattles you a little bit, a lot of times people don't see it because they're watching the ball. So there's so many things that go on a football field, and it is such an intellectual game at my position that a lot of people don't understand it, can't really appreciate what some of the guys are doing. So the people that are playing it at such a high level, the Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning prior to this year, and Tom Brady, it's remarkable to watch because there's so much that goes into that success. This is Patrick Witt. Thanks to College Football Performance Awards for having me on for this interview. Over the past 3 years, I can't say enough about the guys that I've played with at Yale. It's been an awesome experience, and the coaches I've played under have been outstanding. It's been a great experience, and I'm glad to have taken part in college football. Really a unique fraternity.